What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for November 3rd, 2022. And well, what a shitty day for Philly sports. You get no hit in the World Series. Sixers sucked. I blame that one on Doc. Flyers were hanging tough and got blown out late. You know what we do on days like this? Old Philly, we'd wallow in our misery and just feel sorry for ourselves. Now, we flip the page. Today's a new day. We are not done in the World Series yet, guys. Everybody, I need you to listen to me and breathe. This has happened a couple times. Just breathe. Every time they've played like absolute dog shit, they've come back the next day and played fairly well. For some reason, this season, the past couple of seasons, I don't know what it is, but when they have their aces on the mound, for whatever reason, the bats go silent. I'm not sure what it is. I can't explain it. I don't know whether they're like, okay, Nola or Wheeler or whoever, they'll keep us in it. And then when they don't, they're like, oh, shit, what are we going to do? So relax. They've won the Ranger Suarez game a lot this postseason. Syndergaard is not what he was at some point. Not a terrible pitcher. If he can come in and give us 4 or 5 innings, I'll take it. I think we're going to give up some runs. I think we're going to score some runs tonight. This series is not over. This is the pivotal game now. It is now a best-of-3 series. Everybody relax. Pulling out the lucky '08 jersey. There you go. There's the World Series patch from there. I've added the HK patch myself, but it's a whole nother story. We got that going for us. And yes, superstitious, whatever. New Philly, old Philly, doesn't matter. Superstition. This is what we're going to do. Relax and breathe. We also have the Eagles tonight. They have been undefeated. So we got a lot of good juju going tonight. I have this day in Philly sports history is the ultimate slump buster for us. It just, I'm telling you, everything's aligning for us. Everybody needs to relax. It's going to be okay. Sixers we'll get into as soon as the World Series is over because I'm not happy. That team is just, I don't know what it is. I haven't had a chance to really follow and see because obviously I've been focused on the World Series. But we'll figure that out once there. Flyers, young team, not expecting them to do much. It still stings when they have a lead. But they were on the road. It was tough. It was their second straight game. Whatever. We'll deal with that. But let's get to this day in Philly sports history. We're going to bring out the man, the myth, the legend. On October 3rd, 2013, the Eagles went out to Oakland to play the Raiders. They won 49-20. It was their first of 5 games straight. It was their first of 7 out of winning their 7 of their final 8. And it just so happened that the legend of Nick Foles was born that day. Yes, this was the day that Nick Foles tied an NFL record and threw 7 touchdown passes. He ended up going 22 for 28 for 406 yards and those 7 touchdowns. 3 to Riley Cooper, 1 to Shady, 1 to Djax, 1 to Brent Selleck, and 1 to Zach Ertz, which we didn't know it at the time, but just 4 years later, they would be on the teaming up again on probably one of the biggest and most important touchdowns in Eagles franchise history in Super Bowl 52. Oh, and by the way, for fantasy football players out there, he also ran the ball 4 times for 10 yards. It was just a stud of a day. And like I said, little did we know the legend of Nick Foles was born that day. We all know how the legend of Nick Foles played out. Worked out well for us. So I figure it's a perfect, it just fell on our laps that today was the day that Nick Foles threw his 7 touchdowns. So this day in Philly sports history, November 3rd, 2013, Eagles 49, Raiders 20. Nick Foles threw his 7 touchdown passes. They actually would go on to finish 10-6 that year, win the NFC East, lose to the Saints in the wild card round. This was our first season post Andy Reid, so it was Chip Kelly's first year. The future was looking bright. Little did we know it would get a little bit dark and then we would go to the promised land. Kind of like this World Series, maybe. Do you see what I did there? So everybody needs to relax. But I did say we have an Eagles game tonight. Ironically enough, the Eagles are playing the Houston Texans in Houston. And I'm not sure what to make of this game. They're going on a short week. This is the classic letdown game. Looking past this, you have some time off coming in a couple extra days. And usually that you get caught, especially being undefeated right now. And I do think if they weren't undefeated, I would feel differently about this game. Just because in my head, I know at some point they need to lose. They probably will lose. But can they lose to the Texans? So I don't think they lose to the Texans. Here's the dilemma. The spread as of this morning on DraftKings was minus 13.5. It's a lot of points to lay in an NFL game. My head is telling me take Houston with the points. There's no way the Eagles are going to cover that. My heart is telling me there's no way they're not going to cover this. The way they've been playing, there's something special about this team, just like there's something special about this Phillies team. So do what you want with it. I know some people have been asking me in advance to tell me what I'm betting just so we can bet the opposite and fade me. That's fine, but I just really see the Eagles winning by 2 touchdowns in this game. And I think the fact that the starters got rested in the second half on Sunday, that's going to bode well. My only fear with taking this would be a possible backdoor cover, but I don't necessarily see that happen. So we're going to put our 3-5 betting record. We're going to hopefully move to 4-5 today. We're going to go Eagles minus 13.5. I also like, I don't know why, and it's probably just me being a homer, but I don't mind like the whole Eagles, Phillies money line parlay. But that's a whole nother story if you want to get crazy with that. But this day, Philly sports history, the legend of Nick Foles was born, 7 touchdowns. Eagles cover against the Texans tonight. I do think the Phillies are going to be in a higher scoring game, and I really feel they're going to pull this out. And I think you go into Houston needing to win 1 of 2 games, I feel good about where we're at. So go have yourselves a Thursday. Just, one more quick housekeeping thing, and I mentioned it yesterday, but I'm going to mention it again just in case. There will be a Back to the Future coming. I just don't know when. I'm waiting to see how the World Series plays out and want to make sure we're staying focused and staying relevant. So again, I said yesterday, it's a perfect week to catch up. So go look for Back to the Future with a PH wherever you get your podcast from. But go have a Sunday. Eagles are playing on a Thursday night. Go have a Thursday. Go Phils, go Birds, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.